Hello there.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Keegs, and we have to talk about the season finale, episode 6 of Obi Wan Kenobi. I love Star Wars, and there was so much to talk about from this episode. For example, who knew that Beru is freaking strapped? But let's start at the beginning here. Obi-Wan is trapped on a broken transport, and he's looking around at all the people, and he sees that really there's only one way out of this situation. Also, funny thing is we see the kid from episode 1 that Haja saved. He's force sensitive, so obviously he's talking to Leia here, but I thought that was a little interesting to see him back in this episode. We know that Obi-Wan then asks Haja to save Leia, or at least take her back to her home world. She's kind of already saved, but he's got something to do. Obi-Wan's gotta get out and lure Vader away from the ship, and is it sensible for Vader to take an entire Star Destroyer and track down one single dude instead of the rebellion? No, absolutely not, and even the Grand Inquisitor says that, but Vader don't give a crap. At this point, he's seeing red, and all he can focus on is Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that's that. Driver, take us down to Tessin where I can fight Obi-Wan alone. Still not really sensible, but clearly his judgment is very clouded at this point, and even Palpatine points that out at the end of the episode. Also at the same time, Reva has made it to Tatooine, and she is hunting down Owen and Luke in order to kill Luke, I guess, so that she can kind of get back at Obi-Wan, because she believes that this kid has a connection to Obi-Wan, so it'll hurt him. Pretty thin, I feel like, on her motivations here, but you know, we'll just keep rolling with it. Vader comes down and encounters a way more prepared Obi-Wan, and there are so many badass and memorable lines here that I'm gonna have trouble naming them all, but it starts off with a direct mirror from episode 3.
I will do what I must.
Then you will die.
I will do what I must.
You will try.
Even though Obi-Wan is mostly back, he's still kind of getting beaten by Vader at the beginning. He tries to throw a big boulder on Vader, and Vader just kind of pushes it away in a really awesome manner. But he says, "Your strength has returned, but your weakness has stayed," which is such a badass line. I also love the way that Vader mixed in a few cheap tricks with the Force, like when he tried to sweep the legs with the rocks. He ends up burying Obi-Wan and then just leaves, which I think is actually perfect. He clearly still underestimates Obi-Wan and overestimates himself. This was supposed to be intentionally arrogant of Vader. But Obi-Wan remembers Luke and Leia and really understands and can fully see that there is a new hope, and now he can fully access his abilities, and man, he comes out swinging. For the first time, we actually see Darth Vader on the defensive. Vader has to put both hands on the lightsaber, whereas Obi-Wan fights fluidly with one hand, and then picks up a dozen boulders and starts chucking them at Vader. Eventually, he cuts off half his mask, and we get to see Hayden's face under there with the mix of James Earl Jones' voice and Hayden Christensen's, and if that didn't give you goosebumps, then I don't know what will. It was amazing. I think Hayden does and always has given the perfect hurt, but yet very angry voice when he's speaking and yelling at Obi-Wan, and this scene is actually mirroring a scene from Star Wars Rebels that he had with Ahsoka, his Padawan. It's actually even the opposite side of his face, and I think this was intentionally done to showcase the difference between what his master sees and what his Padawan sees, just each side of him. You also get the lighting on his face, which switches between red and blue. When he says that Obi-Wan didn't kill Anakin, his face is actually blue. Whether he meant to do it or not, he's actually given Obi-Wan a bit of peace there and absolved him of guilt. Obi-Wan blamed himself for everything that's happened, and I think this line helps him understand that it actually wasn't all his fault. I think it's showing the light side of Anakin slip through very briefly, but then he's immediately consumed by the dark side and doubles down, and his face goes back to a deep red. When Obi-Wan said he was sorry for everything, it just hit hard because you could see how sad he was at the whole situation and everything that's happened, and you can just feel the emotion coming off of Obi-Wan there. Obi-Wan then leaves, calling him Darth instead of Anakin, which is a direct callback to episode 4. When he meets him again, he says Darth instead of Anakin, and that's because he doesn't believe that Anakin is really there anymore. And it's very clear, obviously, in this that Obi-Wan could have killed Vader right there on that planet. Vader was beaten, but the thing is, especially once he saw that half of Anakin's face under the mask, he physically can't bring himself to do it. He still views Anakin like a brother, and he just really can't do it, and I think it's a very powerful scene to see him just walk away. I was hoping a little bit that we got one line of Obi-Wan saying to Anakin that it's not too late to come back to the light side, you know, I'm here for you, and I think that was kind of supposed to be implied by the I'm sorry, but, you know, it's still something I would have liked to see. It would have been a nice gesture, I feel like. He gets back in his ship and senses that Luke's actually in danger, so he goes to Tatooine, where at this point Reva has already found Luke and kind of did like a fake, like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, you know, I'm mirroring the Anakin scene that he did to me when I was a kid, and obviously she is not able to go through with it. When she brought Luke back, I thought maybe she was gonna kill herself at that point because she had kind of found her inner peace and she was still stabbed through the stomach, or at least keel over and die, because now that she's kind of let go of some of that anger and hate, it's probably not keeping her alive still, but it seems like she lived through this and she's going to be out in the world somewhere, so it's possible to see her return at some point, or I don't know if she's going to go into hiding. She doesn't really feel like the hiding type, but maybe, you know, she's lost some of her anger, she'll do that. I could also see if she does still have some of that anger, that she might try to take the fight up against the Empire and get revenge on them in some manner. Also, Reva leaves her lightsaber on Tatooine, and my god, this planet is going to become a new Ilum if one more person leaves their lightsabers in the sand here. We actually got to see Leia in her famous outfit, and it was funny with her little holster. And when Obi-Wan gave her that holster, I thought that was a hilarious scene when he was like, you're 10 years old, I'm not giving you a blaster. But she was like more excited to see Lola than she was Obi-Wan, but I still thought it was a great scene. And you know, they hugged and said, you know, like, hey, if you ever need an old, tired man, you know where to find me. And obviously referencing episode 4 when she reaches out to Obi Wan Kenobi for his help as an old, tired man. I also love the scene where Obi-Wan told Leia the qualities that she has of her parents. I thought it was extremely touching. And then Obi-Wan goes and talks to Owen and is like, you know, you don't need me anymore, you can take care of Luke, I'm gonna go away for a little bit, so do your thing, which I actually thought was a little bit funny because I feel like 2 scenes ago they just kind of proved that they couldn't take care of Luke because Reva got him with very minimal trouble and Owen wasn't really able to put up much of a fight. So it seems like they still could use him, but I guess now he's still on Tatooine, so hopefully if they really needed him, he could show up at some point still. But Obi-Wan gets to meet Luke actually, and he gives his iconic "hello there" line, and it's, I think, a perfect mix between his voice in Revenge of the Sith and Alec Guinness in episode 4. And it finally ends after 6 episodes, the thing we've been waiting for. Qui Gon shows up, and it's really because Obi-Wan has let go of the past and kind of accepted where he is and is now actually moving on, and he's not stuck in the past. And Qui-Gon's like, yeah, I was here the whole time, you just couldn't see me. But now that he's kind of moved on and grown as a Jedi, he is able to see Qui-Gon, and I thought that's a great scene. So here we go, they are off to training. Honestly, my biggest complaint about the series was that I wanted more, but I know that I shouldn't. I want more Hayden flashbacks as Anakin, and I wanted some more dialogue between Vader and Obi-Wan. And I kind of understand why there wasn't more dialogue between the two, because there really wasn't a whole lot to say between them. It was really just the emotions and tension just kind of said it all, so I understand that, but that doesn't mean that I didn't want it. I know there's a rumored 2nd season, and honestly, I would watch 6 episodes of Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan just talking about what went wrong with Anakin. But let me know, what did you think of this season, and what are you hoping for in a season 2 of Obi Wan Kenobi? But I'm Keegs, and I will catch you all next time for some more Star Wars content.